Did you know that some of the most epic moments and timeless highlights in A Different World weren't scripted? As a matter of fact, they were 100% unplanned and totally real. From raw emotions in the LA Riots episode
This is for Latasha!
to Dwayne crashing Whitley's wedding.
To having a hole in richer for poorer, baby, please! Please!
I do!
These scenes captured genuine reactions. Just like Cedric's real nervousness during his proposal in the Steve Harvey show.
Levita Alizé Jenkins, will you marry me?
Yes! Yes!
And Queen Latifah's natural injury in Living Single. These unscripted scenes made the final cut, bringing authenticity to the screen. Let's explore these moments. Starting with A Different World. So, in 1992, the TV show A Different World aired an episode about the Los Angeles riots. These riots started after 4 police officers were found not guilty of beating Rodney King, a black man who was unarmed. Many people were angry because they felt justice was not served. People protested, and the protests turned into riots. Buildings were burned, stores were looted, and the city was filled with chaos. The show's creators knew they had to talk about this because it was a huge moment in history.
They kiss them so they kick you back. You can't trust anybody in a uniform.
The episode follows Dwayne and Whitley, a married couple, as they visit Los Angeles for their honeymoon.
To having a hole in richer for poorer, baby, please! Please!
I do!
While they are there, the verdict in the Rodney King case is announced. The city erupts in violence. In the middle of all this, Dwayne and Whitley get separated. Whitley finds herself in Beverly Hills, where she sees people breaking into stores and stealing things. These were not just black people, but also white people taking advantage of the situation.
The old women stand around yapping and bring you down.
They're a disgrace to our race.
Meanwhile, Dwayne ends up in South Central Los Angeles, where he meets locals who talk about their pain and frustration. He sees how the riots are affecting people in the black community.
What about the Korean grocer that killed Latasha Holland because she thought she was stealing too?
The writers of the show wanted to show different sides of the riots. Many news reports focused only on black people looting and causing destruction. However, the show made sure to include scenes of white women stealing clothes from expensive stores. This was to show that not only one group was involved in the chaos.
You don't play tennis. I do. You ask me, this is the way to shop.
This episode came out a few months after the Rodney King riots. The cast had strong feelings because they saw what happened in real life. Many of them saw the damage and pain in their own neighborhoods. It was not just a story for TV. It was real for them.
I'm looking at this like it's a movie or something like that. I'm here to tell you, it's for real, baby.
Their emotions were deep. They brought those feelings into their acting, making the episode powerful and real. Next is Moesha. The TV show Moesha had an episode where Moesha thought she was pregnant. It was a serious moment in the show.
I'm pregnant, you the daddy.
Wait, hold up.
And like, it's funny how people are telling me that I'm pregnant. Like, first of all, you don't know what's going on in my stomach.
Brandy Norwood, who played Moesha, later said that this episode felt very real to her. At that time, she was going through personal struggles in her own life.
Daddy.
Yeah, Mom.
If you pick up some sausage, I'll fix you a really great breakfast tomorrow.
Brandy had to act as if she was worried about being pregnant. But in real life, she also had her own worries about relationships and responsibility. This made filming the episode very emotional for her. She said it was hard to pretend because she was feeling similar emotions in real life.
I didn't think the pregnancy thing was body shaming. Like, people were calling that body shaming.
Many fans connected with this episode. It showed the struggles that young women face when dealing with relationships and serious life choices. Brandy's acting made it feel real because she understood those feelings. Even though it was just a TV show, it had a deep message. And The Cosby Show. In an episode of The Cosby Show, Claire Huxtable, played by Phylicia Rashad, gave a strong speech about racism. She talked about how black professionals are often not respected, even when they are highly educated and skilled. Her words were full of passion, showing the frustration that many black people feel when they are judged unfairly. Phylicia Rashad later said that this speech was inspired by real conversations in her own life. She had seen how black doctors, lawyers, and other professionals were not treated the same as their white colleagues. This was something she felt deeply about, and she brought that emotion into her acting. Many viewers were moved by Claire's words. The speech made people think about racism in a new way. It showed the struggles that black professionals face and why it is important to treat everyone with respect. Next up is Family Matters.
You know, he had some failed shows before that one, and suddenly this one just took off with a roar.
In one episode of Family Matters, Laura, played by Kelly Shaneen Williams, faced a scary situation. A boy would not take no for an answer and kept pressuring her. This episode was very important because it showed how some people do not respect others' choices. It was a strong message about standing up for yourself.
I have had it with you, Steve. Now wind up that car and drive out of my life.
Kelly felt very emotional while filming this episode. She had been in similar situations in real life where she felt uncomfortable because someone did not respect her feelings. This made her connect deeply with Laura's experience. She wanted people watching to understand how serious this issue is.
I don't want to think about you, I don't want to talk about you, and I don't want to hear about you.
The episode taught an important lesson. It showed that no means no, and everyone should respect that. Many viewers praised Family Matters for addressing a real-life problem. It helped people understand that everyone deserves to be heard and respected.
You mess up my life, and then when I get mad at you, you make me feel guilty about it.
Next is Hangin with Mr. Cooper. This episode of Hangin with Mr. Cooper was about a school shooting drill. At that time, gun violence in schools was becoming a big problem in real life.
It look like Monica gonna have to find herself a new boyfriend.
Monica Carson was shot and died shortly after.
The show wanted to talk about this issue in a way that people could understand. It was not just a normal episode, it was something serious. In the episode, the students and teachers had to practice what to do if a shooter came to the school. It was a scary idea, but the show made it clear why it was important. The characters reacted in a real way because, even though it was a TV show, this was something that could happen in real life.
Whatever's going down, you don't need no gun to solve it. You use that, nobody wins.
Many people watching the show felt connected to the story. Schools were starting to take gun violence more seriously, and this episode helped bring attention to the problem. The actors showed real emotions, making the message even stronger. It was a powerful moment that made people think about safety in schools.
Dad? Mom? That girl has my face!
In one episode of Sister, Tia and Tamera had to be apart for the first time. This was hard for them because they were always together in real life. They had never spent much time away from each other, so acting like they were apart felt real to them. When they filmed their scenes alone, it was very emotional. They were used to always being side by side. So when the cameras rolled, their sadness was not just acting, it was how they really felt. Their tears in the episode were real because being apart was difficult. In a different world, there is a famous wedding scene where Dwayne crashes Whitley's wedding. Fans love this moment because it feels real. But did you know some of Dwayne's words were not in the script? Kadeem Hardison, who played Dwayne, made up some lines on the spot.
To having a hole and richer for poorer, baby, please, please.
I do.
Jasmine Guy, who played Whitley, was really shocked. Her reaction was not acting, it was real. She did not expect Kadeem to say those words. That is why she looked so surprised. The scene felt natural, and fans still talk about it today.
I'll forever hold their peace.
Whitley, I love you, and if you'll have me, I want you to be my wife.
The wedding was supposed to be between Whitley and Byron, but Dwayne could not let that happen. He stood up and begged Whitley to marry him instead. The words came from his heart, and the moment was full of emotion. That is what made it so special. In the TV show The Parenthood, Robert Townsend wanted to teach an important lesson about drugs. He made an episode where his son faces peer pressure. This means his friends try to make him do something bad, like—
Where'd you get this joint from? From the jazz club? Found it at Gabriel Blue's trumpet case?
Robert Townsend used real-life stories from his own neighborhood to make this episode. He wanted to show how dangerous drugs are for young people. In the episode, his son has friends who are trying drugs. They tell him to try it too. He feels pressure because he wants to fit in, but deep inside, he knows it is wrong.
I saw him at the jazz club today, and he's like this unbelievable jazz player. And you think he got that from smoking?
The show shows how hard it can be to say no when friends are doing something bad. This is a problem many kids face in real life. Robert Townsend plays a father who talks to his son about drugs. He explains how drugs can ruin lives. He tells him that real friends don't push each other to do bad things. This moment teaches kids watching the show that it's okay to say no. Next is Steve Harvey Show. In the Steve Harvey Show, Cedric the Entertainer played Cedric Jackie Robinson, a fun and lovable character. One of the most special moments in the show was when he proposed to Latifah, played by Terry J. Vaughn.
Latifah Alizé Jenkins, will you marry me?
Yes!
It was a beautiful and emotional scene, but what many people don't know is that Cedric's nervousness was real. He later admitted that he felt like he was truly proposing, not just acting.
Will you marry me?
Yes! Yes, Daddy, I'll marry you!
Even though he was a comedian and used to performing, Cedric felt different during this scene. He was sweating, his hands were shaking, and his heart was beating fast. When she found out, she laughed and said it made the moment even more special.
The chemistry was perfect. It was fun.
Next is Martin's. In the 1994 sitcom Martin, there is a famous scene where Tommy is told, "You ain't got no job, man." This line became one of the most remembered moments from the show.
Got no job, man! No, I do. Right, he ain't got no job. Look here.
It was funny because Tommy always acted like he had a job, but no one ever knew what he really did.
Now, with the kind of work that I do, right, I think it's real important that I'm not seen on TV.
Martin Lawrence, who played Martin, said the line in a way that made everyone laugh, including the cast. Martin Lawrence, who played Martin, could not hold back his laughter. He was not supposed to laugh that hard, but Tichina Arnold's timing was so perfect that he could not help himself. Her reaction was real, not acting. Sometimes, when actors work together for a long time, they can surprise each other with something funny. That is what happened in this scene.
Private eye.
Next is the Jeffersons. Lionel and Jenny were a young couple in the Jeffersons.
I'll be seeing even more of him. I'm moving in with him.
Lionel was black and Jenny was mixed race, with a black mother and a white father. Their families had different ideas about race, which made things hard for them. They loved each other, but their families' opinions often got in the way. George Jefferson, Lionel's father, was very outspoken. He did not like the idea of his son being with someone who had a white father.
No more jokes. I promise, Pop.
Jenny's father, Tom, was white, and her mother, Helen, was black. George and Tom often argued about race, making things worse for Lionel and Jenny. Their parents' strong opinions caused stress in their relationship. Jenny sometimes felt caught between two worlds. She wanted to support Lionel but also respect her parents. Lionel, too, had to deal with his father's stubborn ways. In The Parkers, Nikki Parker, played by Monique, was a funny and confident woman. But behind her jokes, she sometimes struggled with how she looked.
Hey, Mandel, now just because you don't care what you look like, doesn't mean you have to rush me.
Monique later said that some episodes showed her real feelings about her body. She faced pressure from society to be thin, and it made her feel bad about herself. Even though Nikki was always proud and strong, she had moments of doubt. Many fans who had the same struggles could relate to her. Kim Parker, played by Countess Vaughn, also had issues with her weight. She loved fashion and wanted to be seen as beautiful, but she felt insecure because of her size.
Grown woman, baby. You need to find a girl your own age.
But they don't have enough body.
Over time, she decided to get weight loss surgery. She wanted to feel better about herself and change how people saw her. It was a big decision, and many people had different opinions about it. The Parkers showed that body image struggles are real. Many women, no matter their size, deal with the pressure to look a certain way. Nikki and Kim's experiences helped bring attention to these struggles. Next is Family Matters. In an episode of Family Matters, Carl Winslow, played by Reginald Vell Johnson, gave a serious speech about racism in the police force.
Joey Gonzalez got shot today.
Oh my God.
This moment was very emotional because Vell Johnson had faced racial profiling in real life before he became an actor. In the scene, Carl talks to Eddie, his son, who was unfairly stopped by the police. Eddie is upset and confused because he did nothing wrong.
A routine traffic stop. Joey asked the driver for his license and registration, and the guy just shot him.
Carl, who is a police officer himself, explains that some officers treat people unfairly just because of their skin color. He tells Eddie that this is wrong, and it makes him angry too. While filming this scene, Vell Johnson became very emotional. He remembered times when police stopped him for no reason. These memories made the speech feel real and powerful. Many people watching the show felt the same way. Next is Steve Harvey. On the Steve Harvey Show, there was a funny moment that wasn't planned. Steve Harvey was acting in a scene with Bullethead, played by William Lee Scott. Bullethead had to say a line, but the way he said it was so funny that Steve Harvey couldn't stay serious. He started laughing, and he couldn't stop. Usually actors try to stay in character, even when something funny happens. But this time, Steve just couldn't help himself. His real laughter was so strong that they decided to keep it in the episode. It made the scene feel even more real and natural. Fans loved it because they could see that Steve was truly enjoying the moment. This wasn't the first time Steve Harvey broke character because of something funny. He has a big loud laugh that makes other people laugh too. When Bullethead delivered his line in that goofy way, it was just too much for Steve to handle. His laughter made the scene even funnier. During the filming of A Different World, Jasmine Guy, who played Whitley, had a real panic attack. It happened while shooting a scene where Whitley was feeling a lot of stress. Instead of stopping, the director, Debbie Allen, decided to use it in the show.
Don't walk away from me.
Hurting me, let go.
Who you studying with?
Let go.
Jasmine was breathing fast, shaking, and struggling to calm down. It was not just acting, she was really feeling overwhelmed. Debbie Allen saw this as a chance to show something real.
Don't walk away from
Hurting me, let go.
Who you studying with?
Let go.
Many people, especially in the Black community, do not talk about anxiety and mental health. Debbie wanted to show that stress and panic attacks are real problems. In the episode, Whitley was under pressure and suddenly lost control. The scene was powerful because Jasmine was not just pretending, she was really going through it. This made people watching feel connected to her struggle.
Don't walk away from
Hurting me, let go.
Who you studying with?
Let go.
John Henton played Overton on Living Single. He was the funny handyman who always tried to fix things. In one episode, he had to act like he was fixing something. But something unexpected happened. While filming, there was a problem with a prop. A prop is something actors use in a scene. It was supposed to be safe, but there was a mistake. When John touched it, he got a small electric shock. It was not part of the show. It was real. John reacted by saying, "Ouch." His reaction was not acting. He really felt the shock. The people on set noticed, but he was okay. He did not get hurt badly. He just felt a quick jolt of electricity. Afterward, they fixed the prop to make sure it was safe. John continued acting like nothing happened. The scene became more real because his reaction was natural. The audience had no idea that he actually got shocked. Raven Simony played Olivia, the little girl on The Cosby Show. She was only 3 years old when she joined the show, but she was already very smart and funny.
Just point me in the direction of that school and I am out of here.
Sometimes she did not follow the script. She made up her own lines, which made the cast laugh. Even Bill Cosby was surprised by her quick thinking.
Sometimes, but not little kids' games anymore. Big people's games.
One time, Olivia said something funny that was not in the script. The other actors did not expect it, but they played along. The audience loved it. Her natural way of talking made her one of the best parts of the show. She acted like a real little kid, not just reading lines. Because she was so young, she did not always remember the script, but instead of stopping, she said what felt right. This made her character more real and fun to watch. People liked her because she was cute and had a big personality. In this episode, Jamie returns from Hollywood, and at one point, he and Braxton get into a heated exchange. During their argument, Braxton suddenly screams in an extremely high-pitched voice. So high that it catches Jamie completely off guard that his face was in pure shock. This was not acting. It was a real reaction. Jamie did not know his co-star could sing like that. The moment was so real that even the audience could see Jamie was surprised. His eyes got big and his mouth dropped open. He looked at Braxton like he had just seen a miracle. It was not just funny, it was one of those moments that made the show special. Jamie was usually the one surprising others, but this time, he was the one caught off guard. Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer were the stars of The Steve Harvey Show. They played best friends, and their jokes made the show special. But what made it even better was that they often made up their jokes on the spot. This means they did not always follow the script. Instead, they said funny things in the moment, and it made everyone laugh. Because they made up jokes, the other actors sometimes could not stop laughing. They tried to stay serious, but it was hard when Steve and Cedric kept saying funny things. Even the crew behind the cameras would start laughing. Sometimes they had to stop filming because everyone was laughing too much. And last is...
Then have a say what? Oh no, you dead? Oh no, you dead?
Queen Latifah's real injury in Living Single. Queen Latifah played Khadijah in Living Single, a popular TV show in the 1990s. While filming one episode, she hurt her ankle, but instead of stopping, she kept acting. The producers decided to add her injury to the story. They made it part of the show by saying Khadijah had a sprained ankle. Many people did not know Queen Latifah was really in pain. She stayed professional and finished her scenes. This showed how strong and dedicated she was to her work. Some actors might have taken a break, but she kept going. This made the scene look real because she was actually injured. Fans watching the show just thought it was part of the story. They had no idea she was really hurt. It is rare for a real injury to be written into a script, but it worked perfectly in this case. Queen Latifah's effort made the scene more believable.